The following clip is about a couple, Jeff and Lauren Lowe, animal lovers and parents to their young daughter, Sarah. For a while now, this family has been dealing with a series of disturbing and unexplained events inside their home. Their cats have been caught hissing at empty corners. There's often the unmistakable feeling that someone else is in the room when no one is there, and even more unsettling, their daughter has complained about hearing someone whisper her name when she's alone. They've also reported tapping sounds when no one else is home, along with sudden, violent rattling of doors that seems to come out of nowhere. These incidents have become frequent enough that the family no longer sees them as isolated events. One day, after returning home, something immediately caught Lauren's attention. Watch.
Oh my gosh, no way. Stop the car. Hold on, stop. Check this out. Guys, we just got home. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look. It's seriously doing it again. We just got home. And you guys are right. There are no other bushes beneath any of the other ones. And I did fix the chain. And it's still doing this. So I have no idea if it has anything to do with the bush. I don't know about you guys, but I am not touching it. I'm not disturbing it. If it is a spirit playing with it. I mean, look at it. And none of the other ones are going. So it's really strange how it's the only one going. And yeah, it is the only one with a bush under it. So it's interesting.
Could whatever they've been experiencing be connected to that bush? Some viewers believe the bush can act as a conduit, a place where energy gathers or something unseen anchors itself. Others suggest animals or even spirits may use it as cover, moving through it without being seen. A few have gone as far as to say the bush may need to be removed entirely, claiming it could be masking whatever is trying to interact with the house. But until Lauren decides to clear the bush, this strange activity remains unsolved. This next clip comes from a woman you might recognize from previous videos, the same one who bought a Chevy truck that her dog Titus refused to go near. At the time, people brushed it off as a strange quirk. Titus would grunt, sniff the air, and completely refuse to enter the vehicle, no matter how much encouragement he got. Now, he's acting strange again, but this time it's not the truck. It's something inside the house. Watch.
That is
What? What's wrong?
you think?
Tats, what is that?
Titus is visibly uneasy in the living room, focusing on one specific area as if something invisible has his attention. Some viewers suggested installing a carbon monoxide detector, thinking the dog might be sensing something coming from the fireplace. Others blamed mice. But according to the woman, whenever there's a mouse in the house, the cat immediately goes into hunting mode. This time, the cat wasn't acting like prey was nearby. Friends have advised her to contact a pet psychic, and she says that's her next step. Until then, she's continued documenting Titus's behavior, trying to catch a pattern. But things got more disturbing when the cat too started acting strange. Watch this.
Anyone in here? James. Why do you want in here? Ready? Hey. Jangles. Okay, here we go. Okay, go on. Hi. What was that? What was that?
After repeatedly trying to head into the garage, the cat suddenly freezes, backing away as if something is blocking the entrance. And when Titus joined them and started acting in his usual strange manner, she became convinced that something's in the garage. Garages are often described as transitional spaces, places between inside and outside. And in paranormal cases, they're frequently linked to unexplained noises, shadow movement, and animal reactions. Some believe they act as entry points, while others say residual energy can linger there unnoticed. So is there really something in her garage that only her pets can sense? Or is there an explanation everyone is missing? You decide. Now in this next video, a woman named Simone has been living what can only be described as a waking nightmare. What makes her situation especially disturbing is that whatever is in her house can now open doors on its own. In many paranormal cases, this is considered a major turning point, an escalation that often leads to constant oppression, severe sleep deprivation, emotional breakdowns, and in some reports, even physical harm if nothing is done. Sadly, Simone says that's exactly what she's been experiencing. Watch.
Do you guys hear that noise? It's been like this all night. I can't make it stop. And when I get up and check the door, there's no one there. Oh my god. I'm terrified. Go away. Go away. I don't know how to make it stop. I don't know how to make them go away.
Eventually, she works up the courage to open the door, only to find that no one is there. Many believe this is a bad sign because opening doors to unexplained knocking, especially at odd hours, is thought to be a form of acknowledgement. In folklore and paranormal belief, responding to these knocks is believed to grant whatever is present permission to move closer, cross boundaries, or increase its activity. And after that moment, things did escalate. One day, while Simone was home alone, she started hearing voices. Listen carefully.
Do you guys hear that? No one is home. My sister left for the whole weekend. Who is that? Who is that in my house?
For those who doubt that mimics exist, this is where the story becomes even more unsettling. Simone says the voices sounded exactly like people she knows, loved ones who were nowhere near her at the time. Mimic entities are often described as using familiar voices to create trust, lower defenses, or lure people into responding. Just days after this clip, things got more intense. Whatever had been tormenting Simone inside her home no longer stayed confined there. It began following her outside. Watch this.
I was walking back to my car in the parking garage, and I keep hearing my name. It's coming from the stairs, but I don't see anyone on the stairs. I've been up and down these stairs, and I don't see anyone. I've just been staying inside. I can't trust anything anymore.
At times, it sounds as if someone is directly behind her, or suddenly in front of her. The constant presence has left her terrified to even step outside, unsure of where it might appear next. Many later connected these events back to her very first video, saying the shadowy figure she captured in the woods may have followed her home. Because of this, she's been warned not to acknowledge it, not to speak to it, react to it, or engage in any way. According to those familiar with attachment cases, acknowledgement is believed to strengthen these entities, feeding them attention and allowing them to tighten their hold. Whatever is happening to Simone, it's no longer limited to one place, and that's what makes this case so unsettling. In this next video, a woman becomes convinced that something isn't right in her attic, and here's why. Watch closely.
So I have this little room up in my attic, and I want to show you guys what I found in here, but first, look at this. I've been up here 2 times. I've lived in this house for 3 years, and I've been here. This will be my 2nd time. And I started doing some picking up, but that's my house down there. And this is, so if you close the door, look how tiny it is. But look at the doorknob. It's literally a foot away from the ground. Look at that. Isn't that weird? Okay, so anyways, let me just open that up real quick. I found this little guy up here. He has like a little thing to put batteries, which I'm going to try and see if it works. That'll be so cool, but it's so old and dusty. And I found him back here in this hole. I covered it back up because it's a little scary, but it's full of things. Oh, what was that?
The first thing people notice is the hole. Where does it actually go? And more importantly, what just moved? She can't explain it, so she goes back later to take clear photos of the opening, hoping to get a better look at what's inside. This time, nothing seems out of place. No movement, no shadows, just silence. But in her next video, she films the inside of her home to clear up questions viewers kept asking, especially about the furniture stored in the attic. There's no possible way those items could fit through the small opening that leads up there. Watch carefully.
You can't really see what was seen on the previous video. Plus, I was by myself. There was nobody in here. There was nobody walking around. This is the closet. And then there's one more. Let me show you guys. This is another room. Again, no holes in the ceilings. Another vent, but no like visible holes that you could see through. And then the closet, no holes. But there is a weird little door again. I don't know what's up with the weird little doors. That one's sealed. You can't open it. It's sealed. Let's go upstairs. We're up here already, and I got to the room, and I want to show you guys. I cleaned up a little bit, but to answer some of your questions, someone asked, what does this window lead to right next to the door? And I don't know. It's sealed, and there's like, it's just covered with siding. And then how did the furniture get up here? I'm assuming somebody built this up here. However, I don't know how this chair got up here. It's pretty big. I'm assuming right before they built the room, maybe they put it up here. I don't know. And then for the hole, there, as you can see, there's electricity. Oh, something else. These cables, these were all plugged in, and they go this way. Let me grab this light so I can show you guys. But let me go here. 1 second, because oh god. So the wires go all the way in here, and they're connected to something that just, there's more trash on this side of the house. See? Oh shit, there's a big ass one. Okay, so that's that side, right? The left side. But the right side, let's go take a look at the right side real quick. It's so hot in here. Oh boy. Okay, so there's no mirrors. I know you guys were saying, oh, there's a mirror. There's no mirror, no holes, just trash. Like, I don't know.
Some people suggest the unthinkable, that someone could be living up there without her knowledge. Others mention something far more disturbing, a disappointment room. A disappointment room is believed to be a hidden space in older homes where families once confined relatives who were physically or mentally disabled, often kept out of sight and spoken about in shame. Paranormal researchers believe locations tied to isolation, neglect, or suffering can retain emotional imprints, sometimes manifesting as unexplained movement, sounds, or the feeling of being watched. Not long after these theories surfaced, she began noticing things that seemed to support the idea that the attic once served a darker purpose. Watch this.
I was gonna just update you guys once I was finished, but I wanted to show you while I was grabbing my vacuum from downstairs, I noticed this little latch. And I know a lot of you guys in the comments were saying that this might have been a disappointment room, and I'm slowly starting to believe that it might have been. There's also the electrical outlet, or the little on and off switch for the electricity. For all the lights that are in here are powered on from the outside, as well as I think that they might have locked the door from the outside using this little thing with a lock. So yeah, it's a little sad actually.
Now, many have urged her to place a camera up there, especially since some still believe a living person could be accessing the space in secret. Others are convinced whatever remains up there isn't human at all. But what do you think? A hidden room with a disturbing past? Or someone living where they shouldn't be? I'll leave you to be the judge of this one. Now, in this next clip, popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his solo investigation at the infamous Squirrel Cage Jail, officially known as the Pottawatomie County Jail in Iowa. And this isn't just any abandoned jail. Built back in 1885, the structure is infamous for its rotating cage design, a mechanism that was meant to move inmates from cell to cell, but often jammed, trapping prisoners inside for hours, sometimes even days, completely helpless. This time, Ian makes his way towards solitary confinement, one of the most feared areas of the jail. But before he even reaches it, something stops him in his tracks. Watch closely.
This is where you'd go if you were acting a fool. Oh my gosh, look how creepy that looks. What the heck? I thought I heard something down there. Hello? Anyone down there? Let's go a little further. Oh, it's tight. This is just the hallway leading up to it. Hello? There it is. You see that? Damn, that looks terrifying. Is there somebody back here? Look how small that is. That is literally your cell in solitary. You can't even sit in there. You'd have to stand. And to think that they would keep you in there for hours to even days. I mean, just imagine trying to sleep in a place like this.
To see if whatever was there could interact, Ian pulls out his K2 meter and places it carefully on the cell door, asking simple questions and waiting for a response. Watch what happens next.
If there's somebody in this cell, could you touch that green light? You just did it. Okay. Thank you. Could you touch it one more time? Holy crap. Okay, there's somebody in here. How did you end up in solitary? Did you fight somebody? Yes. Oh, guys, I'm getting goosebumps right now. I'm getting really creepy feelings. Is it okay that I'm back here? Do you not like me over here? Oh, no way, guys. He wants me gone. If you want me gone, I dare you to try to scare me out of here. Holy shit.
Without warning, the K2 is knocked off the door, hitting the ground hard. Ian hadn't touched it, there was no airflow, no vibration, and the device wasn't balanced in a way that it could simply fall on its own. To many investigators, physical interaction like this is considered a major escalation, a sign that whatever is present isn't just passing through, it's reacting. Also, solitary confinement in old jails is often linked to intense emotional energy, isolation, fear, anger. And some believe spirits tied to those spaces are far more aggressive when disturbed. After what Ian experienced, it's hard not to wonder, was this a warning or something daring him to stay? This jail has seen years of isolation, panic, and desperation. Men locked inside a metal cage that could stop turning at any moment, left in darkness, unable to move, scream, or escape. Some believe that kind of suffering doesn't fade, it imprints. And when someone walks those halls alone, asking questions, turning on equipment, it may be enough to wake something that never truly left. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following clip was recorded by a guy named Kyle, who's been dealing with something deeply unsettling in his home. For weeks now, he says he's been hearing strange noises coming from his crawl space every single night, and not the kind of noises you brush off. Some nights it's low growling, other nights it sounds like giggling voices, almost like children playing where no child should be. One evening, he decided to crawl in there with a camera to finally see what was going on, and this is what he captured.
Shit. I should not have come here. What the f is that? I'm stuck. I'm gonna try to get out of here.
The harsh grunt, the growls, that haunting, childlike cry echoing in the distance. And if you look closely, it almost seems like there's someone, or something, standing at the far end of the crawl space before shifting out of sight. Viewers have been debating what Kyle encountered. Some believe the mixture of growls and childlike sounds suggests more than one entity in that tight space, something darker paired with something mimicking a child's voice. And a few people pointed out that crawl spaces are usually spiritually dead zones, quiet, forgotten corners of a house, which makes the idea of multiple voices echoing in there even more disturbing. Whatever those sounds were, they weren't normal, and they definitely weren't random house creaks, but I'll let you decide what you think is hiding beneath Kyle's home. Now, this next clip was recorded by an explorer who decided to spend the night inside a house that locals swear is haunted. He'd already heard the stories, voices in empty rooms, footsteps that follow you down the hall, and objects moving when no one's around. Still, he wanted to see it for himself. Around 5 a.m., long before sunrise, he suddenly started hearing unexplained knocks echoing through the house. Watch this. People who've experienced hauntings say knocking is often the first sign that something is aware of your presence and is testing how you'll react. And then there's the belief that knocking inside a haunted house is usually a warning, a way to send a message that you're not alone and you're not supposed to be here, especially in a place known for previous visitors reporting the same thing, knocks with no visible source and always at the exact same hour. So was someone trying to communicate with him? Was he being warned? Or is something else living in that house reacting to his presence? You decide. In this next clip, another group of explorers decided to check out an old abandoned school, the kind of place where every hallway feels frozen in time, and every empty classroom looks like the kids left decades ago and never came back. They were there mainly for the architecture and the eerie silence, and while filming, they had no idea they'd captured something far more unsettling than peeling paint and dusty desks. Have a look. Right there, at the end of the hallway, an apparition that looks like a little girl. It wasn't until later, while reviewing their footage, that they realized what they'd actually caught on camera. Some say kids' apparitions are rarely what they seem, and although it didn't follow them, didn't move toward them, didn't even acknowledge them, the idea that something was silently standing there the entire time makes this clip one of the most chilling discoveries they've captured so far. Now, this next clip is about a lady named Morgan, who's been dealing with a string of unsettling, unexplained events inside her home. For weeks, she's complained about strange activity, lights flickering at odd hours, doors opening slightly on their own, and small objects shifting places when no one was near them. At first, she thought it was electrical issues, until the noises started. So she installed cameras around the house hoping to get answers. Here's what was captured. Right after she posted this footage, Morgan said the noises suddenly stopped, but the lights didn't. They flickered again the next night, this time before she even turned them on, and that's where the mystery begins. The following clip is a follow-up video from Sydney and her sister Gretchen, who rented an Airbnb for a wedding weekend, and ended up getting much more than they paid for. In their previous clip, they documented several strange things happening inside the house, objects shifting on their own, sudden movements near the stairs, and their dog refusing to stay away from that area, sniffing, pacing, and staring like something was standing right there. But the strangest moment was when Sydney slid her phone under the locked basement door, and something yanked it out of her hand. So before they checked out, they asked the host for permission to finally open the basement, just to make sure it wasn't a rodent or something harmless that grabbed her phone. Watch.
Yeah, I don't know.
She posted the clip online asking viewers what they saw, and some people claimed they heard a voice whisper, "I don't like you." Others pointed out something chilling. Inside the basement closet, there was another door, and instantly, people started wondering, what if something was hiding in there the entire time? Then, when Sydney turned off the basement light, viewers noticed something even stranger. Something standing there in the dark where nothing had been seconds before. Sydney left that basement without the answers she was hoping for, still confused, still unsettled, with more questions than when she went in. And just when they thought they were done with the place, something else happened before checkout that made them draw their own conclusion about that Airbnb. Watch this.
Let me see, maybe. Like also.
They left traumatized, especially after remembering what one viewer commented under their first video. She said she recognized the Airbnb because of the carpet pattern and claimed someone had died on those exact steps. Whether that's true or not, nobody knows. But until more guests come forward with their own experiences, this one still remains completely unresolved. In this next video, a mother named Adrienne Dakota shared a clip that genuinely shook her because of what she noticed only after replaying her security footage. One afternoon, while checking her indoor cameras, she spotted something inside her living room, something hovering right around her child's playpen. At first, she couldn't make out what she was seeing, so she zoomed in, replayed the moment, slowed it down, but the more she looked, the more unsettling it became. Now, what makes this even creepier is that Adrienne had already been documenting strange occurrences in her home, and for whatever reason, these incidents always seemed to involve her children's toys. But this time was different. Watch.
Some of you are saying that you cannot see what I'm talking about. It took me a good minute when my sister showed me, but once I seen it, I couldn't unsee it. So just to kind of make it easier for you, because I know you can't really zoom in on TikTok, I will repost a shortened version for you so you can see exactly what I'm talking about in both spots.
Whatever that was, it clearly wasn't a pet. She doesn't own any cats. And her 2 dogs? Both were right there in the living room when this thing appeared. Her baby was in the room too, sitting only a few feet away when it happened. To Adrienne, this didn't look physical at all, but until she drops more updates, or until someone can identify exactly what was caught on camera, this one remains a mystery. This next clip is from someone you've definitely seen on this channel before, Rosanna. Her situation is one of the longest running and most unsettling cases we've ever covered. She's tried everything, spoken to multiple paranormal experts, cleansed the house more times than she can count, changed rooms, changed routines, but instead of getting better, things only escalated. Just imagine dealing with that kind of terror every single day. The sounds, the shadows, the constant feeling that something is standing right behind you, watching. Rosanna has since moved out of the building, but she's still releasing old clips, evidence she recorded during the worst of it, hoping that someone out there might finally recognize a pattern or have an answer she hasn't tried yet. She's separated, raising her kids alone, and fighting a battle she can't even see. And the hardest part? Every solution she's tried only brought temporary calm, a short moment of peace before the next wave of activity crashed back in. Until she finds something, anything that truly works, Rosanna's case remains one of the most disturbing and mysterious stories we've followed. Now, in this next clip, the popular ghost hunter Ian continues his late-night exploration deep in the Minnesota woods, heading straight for an isolated cemetery that locals whisper about constantly. It's been called one of the most haunted places in the region, and tucked inside it is something the town refers to as the glowing grave. At 2 a.m., armed with nothing but his flashlight and camera, Ian walked toward that grave and immediately tried to communicate with whatever might be lingering there. And that's when this happened.
If there's anyone that haunts this gravesite, could you show yourself somehow? I heard that this grave glows in the dark. Could you show me this phenomena? I'll shut off my light. If this grave glows, could you make it light up right now? Whoa. Holy crap. Dude, I just seen like a light float by that tombstone.
A glowing spirit orb suddenly floats in front of the old tombstone, without explanation.
Did you just appear? I'll take my light away again. If that was you, could you appear like that again? Oh my god!
Once again, he captured that same mysterious glow. Only this time, it was brighter, clearer, and much harder to dismiss. Some viewers believe these could be the phantom glows people have been reporting around that cemetery for decades. Small bursts of light that appear around certain graves and vanish when approached. But Ian's night didn't end there. While he was still investigating, something else happened.
Could you do that one more time? Oh, whoa, whoa! What the hell was that? Could you do that one more time? Oh, whoa, whoa! What the hell was that?
Suddenly, the fence begins rattling by itself without reason.
Oh, whoa, whoa! Oh, whoa, whoa! Oh, whoa, whoa! That sounded like the fence. Did you just rattle this fence? If that was you, and you just rattled this fence, could you do it again? Whoa. Holy moly. Dude, this is crazy. This fence keeps rattling.
The cemetery fence began rattling on command, and this pretty much proves he wasn't out there by himself. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following clip was recorded by a group of explorers who decided to enter an abandoned building surrounded by disturbing rumors. Locals claim that people go in and come out completely shaken, some reporting sudden dizziness, intense pressure in their chest, difficulty breathing, and an overwhelming feeling that they weren't welcome there. Others say electronics malfunction, footsteps echo through empty hallways, and objects seem to move on their own. The explorers went in hoping to communicate with whatever might be causing these experiences, but instead of answers, they encountered something that seemed to confirm every story they'd heard. Watch this.
Görüntü gidiyor, var bir şey. Var bir şey var. Görüntü gidiyor. Tamam, böyle dikkat. Bismillah. Biliyorum bir şey var orada. Kafamıza gelecekti Allah aşkına. Dokundu.
At one point, an axe suddenly fell, narrowly missing them. They were incredibly lucky it didn't land on anyone. Incidents like this raise unsettling questions about the kind of presence that could exist in places like this. Some theories suggest these spirits lash out when they feel threatened, disturbed, or when their space is invaded, especially in places tied to trauma, violence, or abandonment. Whatever was inside that building didn't seem interested in communicating, it seemed angry, and that makes this encounter far more dangerous than a typical paranormal investigation. Now, in this next clip, a family has been hearing strange noises coming from their basement. At first, they didn't think much of it since the sounds were faint, irregular, and easy to dismiss, the kind of thing you blame on the house settling or your imagination filling in the gaps. But over the next few weeks, everything changed. The noises started happening more often, they grew louder, and eventually impossible to ignore. Then, one night, while the family was asleep, a sudden, heavy noise from the basement jolted them awake. Instead of staying put, the husband decided to move closer to investigate, and that decision alone sent chills through viewers. Watch closely.
Hello? Oh my god!
After the footage surfaced, opinions were split. Some viewers insist it has to be an animal, something trapped or moving around below, but others aren't convinced. They point out that the footsteps sound human, so if it isn't an animal and it isn't just the house settling, then whatever made that noise was already inside the home, waiting in the darkest part of it. But I'll leave you to be the judge of this one. On the 14th of February, 2014, a man walks into a shop like any other day. Nothing about the moment seems unusual, but what no one inside the store realizes is that something else was inside the shop. Watch closely.
Look right here. Look right here. Right here. Look. Look, watch. What is that? What is that? And it's just gone, bruh. Look at this. It's there, and now it's not. It's there, and now it's not, bruh. What is that? Bruh. What is that? What is that? And then it's just gone.
The strange figure appears and disappears in a blink, so fast that the man didn't even sense that something was there. If it wasn't for the security camera, this moment would have passed unnoticed forever. Incidents like this raise an unsettling thought. How many things move through our world without us ever knowing? How many figures slip in and out of reality just beyond our perception? Too quick, too subtle, or too unexpected for the human mind to register. And even when footage like this does surface, many people still refuse to believe it. Some call it a glitch, others say it's a shadow, a reflection, or a trick of the camera. So what do you think? Was this an anomaly or a rare glimpse into something that's always around us, quietly passing through, unseen? In this next video, a woman captured a terrifying figure inside her own home. According to her, it's late at night, and she's replaying voice messages on her phone when an overwhelming feeling hits her, the unmistakable sense that someone is staring at her, not just a thought, not imagination, that deep instinctive awareness you get when eyes are fixed on you. Trusting that feeling, she lifts her phone toward the doorway. This is what she captures. A dark figure appears, peeking from behind the door, its shape just clear enough to suggest a face watching her. What makes this even more unsettling is that this wasn't the first warning sign. Before this moment, she says she'd been experiencing subtle things around the house. Doors left slightly open when she was sure she closed them, the sound of quiet movement at night, and that recurring sensation of being watched when no one else was home. Small things she brushed off at first. Until this. Many people say humans are wired to sense when they're being observed, even without seeing it. And moments like this make you wonder how often that instinct is right. Until she shares more updates, whatever was standing in that doorway and why it was watching her remains completely unsolved. Now, in this next clip, a couple shares footage from what was supposed to be a simple cave exploration somewhere in the UK. Nothing paranormal, no ghost hunting, just curiosity and a camera rolling. But like many explorers later admit, the strangest moments aren't always noticed in real time. They're discovered after, while reviewing the footage. Watch and listen closely.
I don't blame them. Imagine how many people you can fit in here.
Because you got here, look.
How am I going to fit through there? What? Seen all the spiders?
Yeah, have you seen them?
During the exploration, his partner becomes overwhelmed by spiders and quickly exits the cave, clearly shaken. He laughs it off at first, still filming, thinking the danger is gone, but seconds later, his mood changes. He suddenly freezes, then jumps back, reacting to the feeling that something is moving toward him from deeper inside the cave. At the time, he didn't hear anything clearly. It's only after rewatching the footage that they notice the sound at the very end of the video. Some viewers suggest it could have been an animal, even comparing it to a bear-like snarl, possibly disturbed by their presence. But others point out that caves are isolated, ancient, largely untouched, and act as natural amplifiers for phenomena we don't fully understand. In this next video, a family is together, laughing, catching up, and enjoying a quiet moment until something happens. Watch closely. Out of nowhere, the table shifts and the reaction is instant. Everyone runs. Some viewers believe this could be a prank, suggesting someone nearby might have been under the table or pulled the table. But according to locals, this area already has a reputation. Families in the vicinity have complained for years about objects moving on their own, furniture shifting slightly when no one is touching it, and sudden disturbances that happen without warning. That's what makes this moment harder to brush off. When objects move in shared spaces like this, especially during calm moments, many believe it's often the first sign something is trying to make itself known. Whether this was human interference or something far more unsettling, one thing is clear. The moment whatever happened made itself known, no one wanted to stay around long enough to find out what caused it. So what do you think happened here? Speaking of objects moving, the family in this next clip has been struggling with something they can't seem to explain. They'll leave items in one place, chairs pushed under the table, doors fully shut, small objects carefully set down, only to come back later and find everything shifted, rearranged, or completely out of place. At first, they brushed it off as forgetfulness, thinking maybe someone else moved it, or they just remembered wrong, but the patterns kept repeating. Eventually, they decided to document everything. What you're about to see is a compilation of the activity they managed to catch on camera. Watch closely.
Se movió la silla.
¿Real?
Sí.
Las cores.
Tipo, es de arquitecta.
De las cores.
¡Te mo!
To some viewers, this points to something trying to interact with the physical space, poltergeist-like behavior that focuses more on movement than appearances. Others believe it could be something residual, replaying energy over and over in the same areas of the house. They've been advised to send the footage to a priest, but until that happens, speculation continues. But what do you think? Is something attached to the house, or something dangerous followed them home? I'd love to know what you think about this kind of activity. Now, in this next clip, popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his investigation inside the historic Mabel Tainter Memorial Theater. This time, he heads back up to the top floor, returning to the main theater area to quietly film and listen for anything out of place. Watch closely.
It's like there's somebody up there. What the hell was that? Oh my god, guys, it literally sounds like she's coming down these stairs. I smell perfume. What the heck? I smell perfume. And it's starting to feel colder in here too. Ma'am, you don't have to be shy. Feel free to come down and talk to me. Madam, what's your name? Oh my god! I heard that! That was a lady's voice! Thank you, Bam. I heard you loud and clear.
As Ian stands alone in the creepy space, he suddenly notices a strong perfume smell beginning to fill the air. What's unsettling is that the scent doesn't fade. It grows stronger, almost as if someone is moving closer to him. Paranormal investigators often associate sudden smells, especially perfume, with spirit presence, particularly when there's no logical source nearby. Moments later, this happened.
Here. Hello? Oh, holy shit! Oh my god! Dude! I just fucking saw her right there! It looked like a woman in a dress. She walked into the hallway. I gotta follow her. She went down this way. Oh my god. Every hair on my body is standing on end. Where'd you go? I saw you go this way. I feel like I heard her say Mabel. It sounded like an M. Now that I think about it, that voice from earlier, it sounded like Mabel. I'm smelling that perfume smell again. Holy shit! Holy shit! No freaking way! Look at that! That thing just came undone!
This is where things take an even stranger turn. Ian believes he may have caught sight of a figure, possibly the infamous woman in white, briefly peeking out from behind the curtain. The combination of the intensifying perfume and the movement near the stage is enough to raise serious questions about what or who might still be lingering inside the theater. So what do you think? Lingering energy, a known spirit, or something else entirely? For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. In the following video, a guy is making a quick video to show his sister's fiance just how creepy the crematorium where he works can get after hours. What starts as a casual walkthrough quickly turns into something far more disturbing. Watch this.
Lights, they turn off automatically at a certain hour. And I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna walk you through now. I have a friend that works that he would see and hear things coming from these furnaces when they're burning the bodies. So when I'm walking through here, they usually put the urns out to send to the families. So when I'm walking here at night, I walk right by these urns that they put on these tables here. And then I come down, freaking out. Crazy.
Now, crematoriums already carry a heavy atmosphere. The energy there is said to linger, trapped between the living and the dead. Some even believe places like this can absorb emotions, grief, pain, fear, and release them in strange ways. Others think the constant contact with the deceased could make it easier for spirits to attach themselves to the living, especially workers who spend long nights alone. Now, back to the guy in this video. He's convinced there's a ghost haunting this crematorium, and until someone gives him a better explanation for what he saw, he's not budging from that theory. So what do you think? Paranormal encounter, or something else? You decide. Now, this next video was captured at around 3:15 in the morning, and after what happened, there was no way the guy could go back to sleep. Watch this.
Estaba por entrar a mi casa, son 3:15 de la mañana, y la luz empieza a ser así, no sé. Sinceramente siento que hay alguien acá. No sé por qué lo presiento. Si te querés mostrar, mostrate ahora. Hay alguien sentado ahí. Hay alguien sentado.
only people who've woken up to the sound of something unexplainable can truly relate to the kind of terror this brings. That feeling of being watched, of knowing you're not alone. And for this guy, it's not a one-time event. Strange things keep happening in his home, often at the same exact hour, like something's deliberately choosing that time to make itself known. But many who followed his story were relieved to find out it wasn't the Teddy this time, the same Teddy that's moved on its own in several of his earlier videos. But that only made people wonder, what if it was never the Teddy? What if whatever's in his home simply uses different objects to get his attention, or worse, to toy with him? Some say he's dealing with a spirit that feeds off fear, while others think something darker might be attached to the house itself. Until he shares another update, what's really tormenting him remains a mystery. In the following clip, a woman named Jess shares a chilling story, one that's been haunting her for over a decade. Jess lost a close friend named Derek 13 years ago, and ever since then, he's never really left. No matter where she moves, strange things follow. Lights flickering, footsteps in empty rooms, objects shifting on their own. And in her new home, one she moved into just a few months ago, it seems Derek has somehow found her again. Watch this.
Mary, what? He's doing it again. He's doing it again. Mary, he's doing it again. Derek! Hey, Derek! I know you're dude. Derek! Derek! I'm talking to you, man. Stop f***ing me, dude. Calm down, Jessica. It's okay. It's okay. Calm down. It's just Derek. It's just Derek. Hey, Derek. Hey, Derek. What you doing, buddy? I miss you. Derek. What are you doing, buddy? You know I love you. You know I love you. Hey, Derek. Come on, you dumb... What the f...
Now, a lot of people believe Jess might be unknowingly holding on to something that once belonged to Derek, something personal that's keeping his spirit tethered to her. Others think Derek could be trying to communicate, perhaps trying to deliver a message she's missed for over 13 years, something that, once understood, might finally allow him to move on. But not everyone agrees. Some say she's making a dangerous mistake, that what she's experiencing isn't Derek at all, but something pretending to be him, using her grief to gain her trust. A few even suggested she check her attic, where energies tend to gather in old houses, and when she finally did, this is what she found.
Y'all wanted me to come up to the attic, okay? This is the wall that y'all saw some shit on. And these are the stairs. Like, my husband has all his clothes, of course. But if you look up there, there's no windows. I'm not going all the way up there because it scares the shit out of me. There's no windows. There's a sofa, some mirrors, a chair, his clothes, but there's no windows up here, okay? There's nothing up here that would have done anything. See? No window. No window. No windows. Nothing. Absolutely nothing up here. Other than like his toolboxes and a chair. I'm not going up here because it's too scary for me. But there are some mirrors, which is weird for an attic. A fan. See, there's no windows. This is my attic. There's nothing up here that could have done that shit. Alright, I'm getting the out of here because it feels weird.
So, is Jess truly being visited by the spirit of her old friend? Or something else wearing his face to keep her believing? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Now, in this next clip, we're looking at footage captured inside a daycare in East Tennessee, one that used to be an old church before it was converted. Watch this.
The video I'm about to show you is very disturbing. I'm just gonna let it play for you and then I'll give you the background.
See? Lights go off. Now watch. You're gonna see.
What you just saw was security footage that was sent to me by a woman who worked at a daycare in East Tennessee, Appalachia region. This daycare is actually a very old church that was turned into like a private daycare school. She said that events leading up to this, she was kind of having some weird experiences where she would be in her office after hours and would hear like people walking down the stairs, and then she would go check the stairwell and nobody would be there, or she would hear noises coming from classrooms and open up the door and see nothing. She said she would be the only one on the property at this time because she was in charge of like opening the daycare center, and then she would often stay after hours. So nobody was in the building when she was hearing these noises. On this particular day, she was opening the daycare. She went in that door that you saw at the end of the hall and noticed there was an iPad laying on the ground. This was really odd to her because these iPads are put into this like cabinet area that are hooked on like chargers. And she said they're very secure and they're like sitting up on charging decks, if that makes sense. She thought maybe an intruder came in or something, so she immediately notified the security officer who came and checked the camera footage. And that is the camera footage that you saw. Literally, the way that iPad just flings out of that cabinet is giving me chills right now. In the beginning, I feel like I also saw some kind of an orb object, but I've watched this video so many times and I feel like it's just unexplainable. Tell me what you saw in the video, if you saw the orbs like I did, or if you noticed anything else that's odd, and leave in the comments if you have any weird experiences like this.
The way that iPad flew across the room is hard to wrap your head around. Now here's a bit of context. The woman who shared this video works at the daycare and said there had been a series of strange occurrences long before this day. She'd often stay late in her office and hear what sounded like footsteps coming down the old wooden stairs, only to find no one there. Other times, faint noises would come from the classrooms after hours, toys rattling, drawers opening, whispers she couldn't quite make out. On the morning this footage was recorded, she arrived early and found one of the iPads lying on the floor. Now, she's the one who usually opens the daycare, so at that time, the building should have been completely empty, the iPads locked away in a cabinet as usual. Thinking it might have been a break-in, she called security. Omen people believe it's residual energy from when the building was still a church, that maybe the spirits of those who once gathered there never really left. Others think the conversion of the sacred space might have disturbed something that didn't want to be moved, but what do you think really happened inside that old daycare? In this next clip, a woman was walking down a quiet street late at night when her camera picked up something she couldn't explain. Watch.
Or the sub for you is going to be more. Everything's going up, but our wages aren't going up. Because I'm still seeing wages that are fucking pitiful on Indeed. Oh yay, I can make the same amount of money I made when I was out of high school, you know? Looks like there was a figure just standing right there. That's so crazy. I think it was my own shadow. That happens way too often.
At first glance, it looks like nothing more than a shadow, but take a closer look. The outline, the faint movement, and those glowing eyes staring straight at her. Some viewers think she may have caught a shadow figure, a manifestation often linked to dark energy or spiritual unrest. Others believe it's something far more physical, a creature that thrives in the dark, staying just beyond our understanding. There could be many other explanations for what she saw, like a trick of the light, an animal, or maybe something else entirely. But the idea that it could be something aware of her presence is what makes this clip so unsettling. Because if figures like this can move freely among us, unnoticed and unbothered, it makes you wonder what else is out there when the streets go quiet. So, what do you think she captured that night? And do you believe that some things walk among us? Some seen and others we were never meant to see? Now, in this next clip, a woman named Keys has been dealing with strange activity in her home, the kind that keeps her up at night. But this time, she finally managed to catch something on camera. Watch this.
What is happening right now? First the door was moving, then I heard like talking, and then I keep seeing shadows. And for anyone telling me that I should go out there, yeah, why don't you go out there, please? Oh, it just opened and shut right in front of me. Oh man, I wish I could. Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! I'm freaking out. And before anyone comes at me, it's freaking the middle of October in Pennsylvania. It's freezing out, so I have no windows open. I have one fan that circulates throughout the whole room, and that door has never done that. Like, it's moved on its own, but never just like slammed shut like that. I can't believe I just caught that on camera. What the actual believe I just caught that. And of course I'm alone. Yay me. Fun times.
Whatever that was, it's not the first time she's seen it. Keys says things like this have been happening for months. Objects moving on their own, lights flickering even when the power's stable, and that unsettling feeling that someone's standing right behind her when no one is there. She's tried everything from cleansing rituals to changing rooms, but nothing seems to stop it. And now, after this footage, she's starting to wonder if whatever's haunting her house might be getting stronger. If you've ever experienced something similar, drop your thoughts below. What did you do to make it stop? Because at this point, Keys is running out of ideas and courage. Now, in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian visits one of Nebraska's most haunted locations, the Argo Hotel. This place has a long and unsettling history. Years ago, when it was still a sanatorium, a woman named Alice reportedly died during childbirth in the basement. Since then, people say her spirit never left. They hear her crying softly in the hallways at night, sometimes calling for her baby. But here's the disturbing part. During renovations, workers found skeletal remains of an infant sealed inside one of the walls. Many believe it was Alice's child, and she's not the only one said to haunt this place. Guests staying in room 1 often complain about their blankets being tugged off in the middle of the night, or waking up to the sound of faint breathing right beside them. On November 28, 2024, Ian decided to spend the night alone inside the Argo Hotel, hoping to capture proof of what's really happening here. Watch.
That sounded like a lady's voice, right there. I swear to God, I just heard that right behind me. Alice, is that you? She's that ghostly woman that they see wandering around. Could you say something again? I don't know if I'm just losing it, but I swear to God I heard that. I'm not hearing anything else. It's dead quiet. Alice, was that you I just heard? There's something standing right over there. It was right behind that couch. There was something literally standing in that photo. It was like a mist or something. But I'm not seeing it anymore. It's completely gone.
So was that Alice still wandering these halls, or something else entirely? For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. In the following clip, a family lives on a street where something unsettling has become routine. Almost every night, right around 3 a.m., all the dogs on the street begin barking and howling at once. Not one or two, but every dog, reacting as if something unseen is moving through the area. Most families say that when they peek through their windows, they see nothing at all. No people, no animals, nothing out of place. Yet some neighbors wake up in the morning to find footprints outside their homes, even though security cameras never capture anyone walking by. One morning, the man in this video was home alone when he started hearing strange noises coming from his kitchen. Watch.
Pati fue a dejar a Rafita y escuché que alguien anda allá abajo. No estoy seguro, pero creo que la luz de la cocina está prendida o se prendió. Voy a ver qué onda. Ahorita estoy solito. No manches, creo que sí está prendida. Ay, güey, sí está prendida. Yo la apagué, les juro que yo la apagué cuando salí del baño. Y de hecho la puerta estaba cerrada. Hola. ¿Alguien está ahí? Hey. Hola.
Toward the end of the video, a disturbing grunt and something wailing can be heard. That's when the family realized that whatever had been triggering the dogs at 3 a.m. might no longer be confined to the street. On another morning, the same man went down to use the bathroom when this happened. Watch closely. The sound of footsteps can be heard, almost rhythmic, like someone moving or dancing just out of view. Some believe this could be a roaming entity, something that doesn't stay in one place and instead moves through neighborhoods, passing from street to street, home to home. Others think the constant attention this family has been giving it, watching, talking, reacting, may have unintentionally drawn whatever it was closer, allowing it to shift from the street into their house. But before things escalate any further, the family is now actively seeking answers. So what do you think? Was this always heading toward their home? Or did noticing it invite something inside? Now, in this next video, a man who works night shifts at a school shares a story that slowly turns unsettling. Part of his job is simple but strict. Before leaving, he must switch off every light, check the restrooms, make sure no taps are running, and confirm the building is completely empty. But one morning, he gets a call saying several lights were left on, along with a tap running. Confused, because he knows he checked everything, he starts documenting his routine. Night after night, he records himself turning off the lights and walking out. Yet, somehow by morning, the lights are back on again. As word spreads, teachers and staff begin opening up about strange things they've noticed over the years, doors opening on their own, and sounds echoing through empty halls. But one detail stands out above the rest. Multiple people claim they've seen a young girl wandering the hallways at odd hours, usually when everyone should be in class. One night, while recording his final walkthrough, something happens that seems to connect everything. Watch closely.
Bueno, miren, en esta área es donde supuestamente miran a una niña o han visto una niña. Tanto maestros como otros trabajadores de aquí del lugar dicen que miran una niña. ¿Escucharon eso? ¿Escucharon? Entonces... ¡Uy, güey! Vámonos. Vámonos.
If you focus on the left side at the end of the hallway, something appears to peek out, then vanish. Moments later, he begins to hear things, like someone else is there with him. Now he's left wondering, was the girl teachers have been seeing the one turning the lights back on all this time? And if so, who is she and why is she still there? Until more updates are shared, this case remains completely unsolved. The following video is a throwback to a chilling moment caught during a camping trip in the Appalachian Mountains. A man is resting when he suddenly hears a voice calling his name. At first, it sounds familiar, too familiar. But what makes this unsettling is that the voice belongs to his brother, a brother who passed away 2 years before this video was recorded. Watch closely.
Ryan, open up.
Who is this?
Ryan, I'm your little brother.
No, you're not.
Ryan, come on, open up.
What is that?
Unlock the door, Ryan.
What's strange is how calm and direct the voice sounds. It clearly claims to be his brother, calls him by name, and even asks him to open the door. The Appalachian Mountains are already known for unexplained disappearances, strange lights, mimic voices, and people reporting the feeling of being watched for hours at a time. Some think whatever spoke that night wasn't trying to comfort him, but trying to gain access. Others believe it could have been something feeding off grief, using his brother's voice as a way in. Whatever it was, the Appalachians continue to be one of the most mysterious places in the world, with stories like this surfacing again and again. And if you've ever experienced something strange out there, you're definitely not alone. This next video was captured inside a family home where, for several nights in a row, they'd been hearing the unmistakable sound of footsteps moving outside their windows. Not pacing randomly, but slowly, deliberately, like someone circling the house, stopping, then continuing again. At first, they brushed it off, thinking it might be a neighbor or an animal passing through, but the sounds kept returning, always late at night, always close to their windows. Eventually, when it started again one night, the mother decided to call the police. While waiting for them to arrive, the footsteps grew closer, and then came the knocking. That's when she grabbed her phone and caught this. Have a look.
Regina, están tocando. Pedro. Ya le hablé a la policía. Y ahorita va a venir. Tráeme un palo, Regina. Tráeme algo, tráeme algo. Va a venir ahorita la policía. Corre. ¿A qué estás molestando aquí? Ya te habías ido. ¿Qué quieres? ¿A quién quieres? ¿A quién quieres? ¿A Regina o a quién quieres?
¿Cómo que a mí?
¿A quién quieres? Vete de aquí. Vete de aquí. Se paró. ¿Quién chingados eres? ¿Quién te mandó?
By the time the police arrived, the house was completely silent. No movement, no sounds, no one outside. The only proof that anything had happened at all was the video she recorded. After this clip circulated online, many viewers began connecting the dots. Some speculated the house may have once belonged to someone who never truly left, pointing out how the activity started with footsteps circling the property, almost like someone retracing familiar ground. Whatever it was, it didn't seem lost, but until more answers surface, this encounter remains deeply unsettling and unresolved. In this next video, a man shares what he describes as some of the most extreme paranormal activity he's ever experienced inside his home. For weeks, things haven't felt right. Objects shift overnight, doors are found open when he knows he shut them, and heavy footsteps echo through the house long after everyone should be asleep. Some nights, the atmosphere feels so tense that he says it's hard to even breathe properly, like the air itself is pressing in on him. One night, he started hearing strange noises, so he grabs his camera and decides to follow the sound, hoping to finally catch whatever's been disturbing him. Watch closely.
Si están escuchando ruidos acá, ahí dejaron de hablar. Hace días que vengo escuchando ruidos acá. Ya no sé cómo... Se cayó de acá un botín. Ya igual a estas alturas miedo ya no tengo. Concha de su madre. Esos hijos de puta. El coche yo no lo dejo ahí aparte. Siempre aparece el coche en cualquier lado. Ya no sé qué. Hijo de puta. Benji, ven acá. Vení, Benji, acá. Se me desvanecen las piernas ya. Ya no sé cómo vivir. Benjamín, vení conmigo. No te vayas, vení. Quédate acá. Quédate acá. Deja de ladrar, quédate acá. ¿A dónde estás mirando, Cami? Vení acá, Cami. Andate, hijo de puta.
What makes this even more unsettling is that his dog often reacts first, waking him up by barking at empty corners, growling at doorways, and refusing to enter certain rooms. And now, with the figure he catches standing in the doorway, it feels like whatever has been hiding in his house for a long time may have finally revealed itself. Whether this is something paranormal or something far more disturbing, one thing is clear: he's not alone, and for now, this remains a mystery. In the following video, a man says his young daughter has been insisting that her doll moves on its own, even when she isn't touching it. At first, he brushes it off as imagination, until she keeps bringing it up, describing the doll turning or shifting when she's not in the room. Wanting to put the claims to rest, he decides to test it himself. He places the doll on a flat surface, sets up a camera, and stays nearby to make sure nothing interferes. Watch closely. After the video surfaced, many were quick to say someone must have pulled it with a string or something, but the man insists he was home alone at the time and standing directly in front of the doll when it happened. No strings, no pets, no one else in the room. That's when speculation starts pouring in. Some believe it could be a delayed mechanical shift inside the doll. Others argue that unexplained movement is often one of the earliest signs people report before activity escalates. So was it a trick of physics, or something reacting to being watched? You decide. Now in this next clip, popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his investigation inside the historic Mabel Tainter Memorial Theater. Earlier that night, he captured a brief but chilling moment. A pale figure, believed to be the infamous woman in white, peeking out from behind the curtain. Shaken but focused, Ian decides it's best to call it a night. But just as he's wrapping up his video, something unexpected happens. Watch closely.
And, what the? That was a piano. I was about ready to stop recording. Hello? Oh, there it is. That's the piano. I just heard that. But look at this thing, it's completely shut. How could that happen? It's not one of those player pianos, is it? I doubt it. This thing looks ancient. What does that say? Mabel's piano? What? No freaking way, this is her piano. That is insane. Holy shit, and I just heard it.
After hearing this, a disturbing thought hits him. For years, locals have whispered that Mabel herself still lingers here, especially near the piano. Some believe she appears when investigators are about to leave, as if she doesn't want to be alone again. But instead of assuming, he decides to ask directly. Watch what happens next.
Could you play a song? I bet you're an amazing piano player. I tell you what, if you play one single note, I will be satisfied. If you could just play one single note. Oh my God! I just saw that! That was that key! Oh, holy shit! She's literally playing the piano! Thank you so much, Mabel. That was that key right there. That was the key right there she just played.
Whether this was Mabel reaching back through time or something else entirely remains up for debate. But moments like this are why the Mabel Tainter continues to be one of the most chilling locations Ian has ever explored. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. In the following video, a man who's been complaining about strange occurrences in his home, claiming it's haunted, finally managed to capture something that might prove he's not imagining things. For months, he's told his landlord about what's been happening, but no one's ever taken him seriously. No proof, no evidence, just his word. But that changed one night when he woke up to a strange sound coming from outside. His first thought? The ghost is back. So this time, he grabbed his phone, determined to catch it in the act, and stepped outside to see what was going on. Watch this.
Oh mùi ơi á cái gì mất tự tôi còn chị tí ốc lên. Oh mùi ơi. Wow. Mùi lô. Ta lên bị cái tụi này mà.
After recording the video, he immediately sent it to his landlord, hoping this would finally convince them something was off. He also shared it with a few friends, and before long it was online for everyone to see. The comments that followed were a mix of sympathy and humor. Some joked that maybe the ghost was just helping out, but others pointed out something far darker. That perhaps a former tenant once lived and died there, and what the man captured wasn't a haunting at all, but the spirit replaying fragments of its past life, doing the same things it did before it passed. If that's true, then the man's nightly disturbances might not be a haunting out to scare him, but a restless echo of someone who simply doesn't realize they're gone. Hopefully, his landlord takes him seriously this time. Now, this next clip was recorded by a CCTV camera inside a shop, and what happened in it continues to stun everyone who's seen the footage. Watch this. At first glance, it looks like a normal night, nothing unusual, but then things start moving on their own. Items shift, fall, and one object in particular floats up off the counter, hovers for a moment in midair, and then drops straight to the floor. That's the moment everyone froze. Many people who've seen this footage tried to come up with logical explanations. Some say it could have been a mild earthquake or vibration, but no one's ever seen an earthquake lift something upward and keep it suspended like that before. Whatever happened in that shop that night, it's enough to make anyone question what they thought they knew about the world around them. So what do you think? Did the camera capture something paranormal, or is there another explanation that we just haven't figured out yet? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Now, in this next video, two roommates share their increasingly creepy situation. For a while now, they've been dealing with things that go far beyond what they can explain, and most of it seems to happen inside their garage. On some days, they'd hear loud banging sounds or tools clattering on their own, as if someone was working in there late at night. On other days, the lights would flicker violently, and the sound of something dragging across the concrete would echo through the house. It used to happen randomly, maybe once or twice a week, but now it's become a daily occurrence. So they decided to install a camera to finally see what's going on. Watch this. It's one thing to wake up to strange noises and find nothing there, but what the camera caught the second time made their skin crawl. One of the chairs in the garage was suddenly launched onto a couch. The couch is just out of frame, but if you look closely, you can see the chair move violently. Considering everything they've already endured, the constant noises, flickering lights, and movement when no one's around, it's hard to brush this off as mere coincidence. In the following clip, a lady named Jess wakes up early one morning to strange, unsettling sounds coming from her attic. Take a look.
It's okay, Birdie. It's okay. Nope. Nope.
She was home alone with her two dogs. Kaiser was in the living room, and Butavius, her smaller one, was whining nervously beside her. When people online asked why she didn't go up to check, Jess had the perfect answer. In her words, that's how people get killed in horror movies. Y'all might have the courage to go look, but I don't. She explained that although she didn't necessarily feel any dark or negative energy that morning, she wasn't about to take chances either. Now, here's where things get interesting. Her attic doesn't have any windows, just a large old mirror that's been up there since she moved in, and according to Jess, people had warned her to get rid of that mirror long before anything strange even started happening. But lately, it's become almost routine. Every morning around the same time, she wakes up to banging and the sound of footsteps pacing above her. So, what do you think Jess is dealing with? Could that mirror be acting as a portal, reflecting more than just her image? Or is there something else hidden in that attic that's been trying to get her attention? You decide. In this next video, a woman is quietly breastfeeding her baby when something truly disturbing happens. Watch.
Louis? Wie naar de kamer? Als je naar dit niet was in de kamer, was er inderdaad hier binnen gekomen? Ja. Ja? Nee.
If you look closely, the yoga ball by the left side of your screen, which had been perfectly still for several minutes, suddenly starts to move. Not a gentle roll, but a slow, deliberate shift, almost as if someone or something gave it a subtle push. According to her, she felt an icy chill at that exact moment, like someone had entered the room, watching her. Some people believe what she caught on camera wasn't random movement, but a spirit trying to draw her attention, maybe even jealous or drawn to the baby. She insists the windows were closed, there was no draft, and no one else was home, so whatever moved that ball, it didn't want to be ignored. Now, in this next video, Monica Monge works after hours, meaning she's on duty when the office is completely closed on holidays and weekends. But recently, her late night shifts have taken a very disturbing turn.
Here we go again. I don't know what the hell. The lights keep going on and off. Oh. Okay. I have to go upstairs. I don't know. That sound was at the same time as the light went on. Okay, it could be an electrical thing. Doesn't have to be scary. I don't know what's happening. I'm not scared, but Okay, so I'm at my desk now and the lights went out. They were going on and off when I was downstairs. I was able to capture it one time. I'm not scared. I'm over it actually. I'm super irritated. I'm hearing shit. I hear whispering and humming. I'm about to go over there. Ugh. I'm not scared, but just super irritated. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, God. I'm not scared. Okay. How do I turn the camera around? Okay. I fumbled on the phone. I'm not scared. I heard humming. I'm gonna open that closet again. I'm not afraid. Nothing can hurt me. There it is. I don't know what the heck. I had the security guard leave the light on for me in this room. And
you can clearly hear it, a soft humming, almost like a child singing a playful tune somewhere down the hall. Then a faint voice says, "What are you doing?" The flickering lights, the sudden power surges, It's enough to make anyone's skin crawl. According to Monica, she isn't the only one who's experienced this. Both security guards have also reported the same eerie humming and even voices coming from the empty cubicles. That night, after Monica left, one of the guards texted her saying a small toy pumpkin had been mysteriously moved to their station. When she was later asked if those toys were donated, she said yes. Some now believe one of those toys might carry a lingering attachment, maybe from a child who once owned it, one who never truly moved on. Others think the toys are acting as conduits, holding residual energy that wakes up when the building is quiet. But I'll let you be the judge on this one. In the following video, we meet Melody, a woman caught in a deeply unsettling situation that's been escalating fast. For weeks, she's been complaining about her back door opening on its own. Friends told her it was probably the wind, so she decided to test it by placing a heavy brick against the door. But what happened next was terrifying. By the next morning, the brick was gone, completely vanished, and the door was wide open. Later that day, she received a text message from an unknown number that read, "Stop ignoring. Is the brick still by the shed?" Moments after, her phone buzzed again with a chilling voicemail, a distorted, almost inhuman voice whispering something she couldn't fully make out. But that's not even the first strange thing that's happened. Just days earlier, this happened.
Okay, this might be nothing, but the timing is just not it. It was my birthday, right? And I got these flowers. Boom. They're dying. I know. That's not weird because it's me, okay? They die. No note. So, and I figured, you know, when it's my birthday, someone's gonna call or text me and be like, "Happy birthday, did you like my flowers?" That didn't happen. It didn't happen. So, hold on, my dogs are freaking out. Hold on. Back to the story. So today when I get home, okay, yeah, I leave a note.
If you look closely behind her, a dark, almost human-like figure seems to appear in the background for a split second before vanishing. Now, with the missing brick, the creepy text, the eerie voicemail, and the way her dogs bark uncontrollably at empty corners, Melody's beginning to feel like she's being watched. Some believe the figure could be tied to the property, maybe a previous resident or someone who once lived nearby. Others think it's something darker, possibly using electronics to communicate or mimic human behavior. And a few have even suggested the flowers left by her shed could be part of some kind of ritual offering. Whatever it is, Melody's story is growing stranger by the day, and until she shares more updates, this one remains an unnerving mystery. Now, in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his exploration through one of Nebraska's most haunted locations, the Argo Hotel. After running out of rooms where strange, unexplainable things had already happened, Ian pushed further into the building, determined to make sense of everything he'd seen so far. But what he didn't know was that the next room would add to the mystery. Watch this.
Right there, with the bead curtains. That's the door they literally had to remove because guests were getting freaked out. Well, it seems like they're gonna have to remove this door too, on top of it. If there's anyone in here, could you show yourself? Well, I'm getting orbs. And in this photo here, they're floating around. Oh, there's like a bunch of them. Is that you I'm seeing? There's one floating over by the door, the bathroom door. Are you standing by this bathroom door here? Whoa, whoa. Those are moving. Those are moving. Oh my God. How are those moving right now? Is there some kind of like air current over here? I don't feel anything. There's no drafts. Nothing. No central air. Who's in here? Who just moved these beads? Talk to me. I'd just like to speak to you. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I swear to God, I just heard a freaking whisper behind me. It sounded like it came from this room. If that was you, could you say that again? Oh my God. Oh, that startled me. Holy crap. That echoed from in here now.
He calmly called out to any spirit that might be present, and then everything went completely still. No movement, no sound. That sudden, unnatural silence made him uneasy, enough that he decided to leave the room. But before stepping out, he set up a camera, hoping to capture whatever might happen once he was gone. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following clip is about Rosanna, whose situation has become one of the longest running and most unsettling cases we've ever covered. She's tried everything, spoken to multiple paranormal experts, cleansed the house more times than she can count, switched rooms, switched routines, but instead of getting better, things have only escalated. Early one morning, Rosanna suddenly woke up after hearing the sound of a toy she was absolutely sure no longer worked. Confused, she grabbed her phone and went to check. Watch.
J'en ai marre, j'en ai marre, j'en ai marre. Ouais, ok. Alors le choupi, il est tout en haut de l'étagère là-bas. Et il ne marche plus. Voilà. Classique. Regarde, il est à 0. Je suis là. Coucou, je suis là. Il marchait plus. Coucou, je suis là. Coucou, je suis là. Coucou, je suis là. Super, j'ai peur. Coucou, je suis là. Coucou, tais-toi. Tais-toi. J'ai entendu. Coucou, je suis là. Je suis pas folle. J'ai entendu. Je suis là.
At the time she was filming, she didn't see the shadow moving right in front of her. She only noticed it later when viewers pointed it out. And what made this moment even stranger is that the toy's batteries had been dead for months. So the fact that it suddenly switched on by itself, paired with that dark shifting shadow and then a faint voice saying hello from inside the bathroom, made everything feel a lot more intentional, almost like something inside that house was trying to get her attention. Viewers also pointed out something else. The bathroom door was open, and in a surprising number of paranormal cases, bathrooms are believed to be hotspots for activity. Some investigators say it's because bathrooms have mirrors, objects often tied to spiritual gateways. Others say it's the constant flow of water, since running water is believed in some traditions to attract or amplify energy. And a few believe it's simply because bathrooms are small, enclosed spaces where shadows and movements are easier to hide, and easier to miss. For Rosanna, it all adds up to one terrifying thought. Whatever is in her home is getting bolder. She's still searching for real help, especially because she wants to reunite with her kids, but she's terrified of exposing them to whatever this is. And until someone can confidently tell her exactly what she's dealing with, Rosanna remains stuck in a terrifying uncertainty, and this case remains completely unresolved. Now, in the following clip, a woman living deep in the Appalachian Mountains was recording a song when she suddenly felt like someone was watching her. She started hearing footsteps, soft, slow, almost pacing, and faint whispers she couldn't make out. Watch and listen closely.
Just had a whole chill go down my spine like I'm being watched. I feel really disoriented right now. I don't know which way I came in. I feel like someone's stalking me. Like I keep hearing people talking, but no one's here. See? Just me. I feel like you guys aren't my only audience.
A lot of viewers replayed that moment over and over, and some swear they heard a voice whisper, "Who are you?" right before the clip ended. It sounded low, masculine, almost like someone was standing just out of frame. And the moment her entire body went cold, she knew she had to leave immediately. But this wasn't a one-off moment. It happened again. This time, she was in her backyard practicing another song when something else happened. Watch this.
I'm in my backyard, so I can't. Imagine anything would go wrong. Worst comes to worst, I'll run inside. So if someone or something is here, then it followed me home. It's really quiet. It's almost dark.
Right before she starts playing, you can see something peeking out from behind a tree. Just a quick flash of what looks like a face. And according to her, it didn't sound like an animal. It sounded like someone shifting their weight, someone trying not to be noticed. And here's where the debate starts. Some viewers believe she's dealing with a stalker or a person hiding in the woods. Because living in the Appalachian Mountains, you often hear stories of people who've gone off grid, loners who wander the forests, or strangers who watch without ever revealing themselves. Others think this is something far stranger, maybe one of those unexplained Appalachian legends people warn you about. But then you have believers who say the whispers, the peeking figure, and the perfectly timed rustling all feel too synchronized to be a random person. They think she's dealing with something not entirely human, something that's been watching her for a long time. So is this a person hiding in the woods, or something else entirely? I'll leave that for you to decide. In this next video, an unusual and honestly unsettling moment was caught on a security camera inside a morgue. Take a look. Right after this video went viral, plenty of health practitioners chimed in, saying moments like this are more common than people think. According to them, a corpse can sit up, make guttural noises, or even move slightly due to muscle contractions, nerve reflexes, or gas release. In the medical world, this isn't considered paranormal, it's just the last bits of the body reacting. But in the paranormal world, this is a completely different story. When a corpse sits up suddenly at the exact moment it's being attended to, many believe it's a sign of a spirit trying to re-enter the body, or a final attempt to communicate something that wasn't said before death. Some say it means the soul hasn't fully crossed over, lingering in a confused or restless state. Others believe morgues, because of what they hold, naturally attract spirits who hover between worlds, making them hotspots for unexplained activity. There are even theories that certain sudden movements may happen when a presence is near, influencing the body or the environment around it. And if you talk to longtime morgue workers, many will admit there are nights where the room feels crowded, even when every bed is still. So with all the debates, theories, and strange stories surrounding morgues, if you experience something like this right in front of you, what would you do? Now, in the following clip, a ghost hunter and his crew visited a house that once belonged to an elderly couple who had passed away, leaving the home abandoned for years. They were only just setting up in the living room when the investigators suddenly heard a sound coming from one of the back rooms. His first thought was simple, probably a rat, or maybe something blown over by a draft. But when he entered the room, this is what he saw.
Dar nu se vede nimic. Deci se aude, dar nu se vede. Mamă, frate, fii atent! Holy shit! Vai, nu mai știu să vorbesc. Nu mai pot, bă. Ce-o zis? Îmi pun oala în cap.
If it had been only the window, maybe, just maybe, he could have talked himself into a logical explanation. But the moment that old porcelain doll spoke, he knew immediately this wasn't about rodents or loose windows. Something else was in that house, and it seemed to be slowly revealing itself piece by piece, like it wanted them to notice. From there, the activity grew stronger. Cold pockets of air kept passing between the crew members, and a picture frame on the wall kept tilting itself back and forth, almost like someone was trying to get their attention. Every sign pointed toward one truth. Something or someone was in that house with them. After doing a full sweep of the building and confirming no one else was inside, they decided to try communicating with whatever spirit was present. Take a look.
Dă tabloul ăla jos, poți? Ia să vedem cât. Oricare spirit ai afla în balcon, oricare entitate, îți ordon să dai tabloul ăla jos cu doamna Timea. Băga mea și pula în dracu, gata, eu nu ți-am plecat acasă. Am băgat pula noastră.
When he asked the spirit to pull down the picture frame, and it actually happened, viewers immediately began theorizing.
Hai de pula mea. Vai de ca, hai să plecăm, Ionuț.
Some believe the spirit was trying to show anger or frustration. Others think it was simply responding to acknowledgement, grateful that someone finally noticed its presence. A few even suggested the frame might hold a photo or memory tied to the couple who once lived there, and pulling it down was its way of pointing to unfinished business. The crew then tried something else, hoping to gather information about the spirit's story.
Since when are you dead?
Prizonier.
Doamne, prizonier a fost în război. Give me a number.
Leonard.
Da. Bă, să te atragi, eu vorbesc în engleză și a răspunde în română. Și când o întreb.
Sometimes spirits who struggle to move on aren't staying because they want to. Some linger out of confusion, unable to accept that they've passed. Others stay because of emotional attachment, a memory, a person, an object they're tied to. And in some rare cases, they remain because they're waiting, hoping for someone to help them finish something they never could in life. The investigators kept communicating, testing the spirit's responses, checking how active and aware it truly was.
Ana Maria, închide ușa aia, oleacă, dacă poți. Ana Maria. Ia, marș de aici, Ionuț. Ce ai, mă? Băi, s-o închis ușa, tu ești nebun la cap?
Ce, bă? Fortunately, their experience that night was calm. The spirit didn't try to lash out or attack. Instead, its interaction seemed intelligent, almost purposeful, like it had a message but couldn't express it fully. But why it still lingers in that house, why it hasn't crossed over, is something the team hasn't been able to uncover yet. So until they figure it out and share more updates, this one remains unsolved. This clip is about a delivery guy who, in his own words, lives life one day at a time. But recently, his days have been anything but ordinary. For months, he's been trying to explain the strange things he's seen and heard while on the job. But every time he shares his stories, his friends either laugh or brush it off as him being dramatic. Everything changed on the 14th of September, 2022, when he was assigned to deliver at a newly developed site with fresh, unfinished buildings. The place looked quiet, almost too quiet, but as soon as he entered one of the buildings, he began hearing strange sounds echoing from deep inside, footsteps when nobody was there, faint voices that seemed to vanish the moment he tried to follow them. At first, he ran out, unsettled, but he couldn't shake the feeling that what he heard was real, so the very next day he went back, this time not for work, but for proof. Have a look.
I'm at this house in somewhere North Carolina. Brand new house. Just has been built. And I was making a delivery here yesterday. And I kept hearing something upstairs. And I'm the only one here. I was here by myself. But something kept bumping around up here. Sounded like somebody was walking across the floor. So today we're gonna come check it out. See what it could be. Kind of odd. As you see, nobody's here. I'm here by myself. Nobody's around. Every single room is empty. Closet. I don't see anything that would have been moved or could move that's up here loose or anything. See, nobody's here. Nobody's hiding anywhere.
Nope, nobody. Nobody.
See? Now who the hell is crazy now? Did you hear that thump? See, I'm here by myself. Nobody's here. Just me. What the hell? See, nobody's here. What the hell was that? It's a brand new damn house. Nobody's here. We'll go up there in a minute. Still gotta make sure so everybody doesn't think that I'm crazy. I have somebody here with me. Nobody's here. Just me. Nobody's here. Let's back out to the hall. Nobody's here. All right. Let's see. What could be going on? See, nobody's here. There's nothing possible that could be bumping around by itself or thumping. Nobody, nothing. No animals, no nothing. So strange how a brand new house is already haunted. Let's see. I just needed proof. But yet again, nobody's here. Proof.
What he recorded stunned even him, and now he's sure that the noises weren't just in his head, they were real, and now undeniable. But he's still worried his friends will dismiss it as edited audio or coincidence, so his plan is simple: bring them along next time. Because sometimes, he says, people only believe what they can see and feel themselves.